Okay. Alright, so good evening everyone. By the way, I am Rohana Paudak, and in this video, what I will be discussing to you is about analyzing problem behavior. Now, before we could analyze a problem behavior, no, we should be aware kung ano yung mga events in a child's life, especially the stress in their childhood. Okay, so number one, we have problems with friends, bullying, or peer group pressures. Okay, peer group pressures. Ito yung mga stresses na nararanasan ng mga bata. This is common in elementary and high school, di ba? Now, it stresses them. It's a pressure to a child na to be someone that they are not, just to have friends. Like for instance is when you have classmates, tapos lahat sila may PSP, tapos ikaw na unfortunate na wala kang PSP. Now, you'll get bullied. That is why there are there are kids na nagde-demand masyado ng mga bagay-bagay sa kanilang mga parents because of influence or peer pressure. Na kung wala kang PSP, of course may mga bata na of course they're immature. So, they will bully the kid na, ay, kesyo wala itong PSP, kami meron, ikaw wala, ganyan-ganyan, kawawa ka, o yung mga ganon. Okay, that's for number one. Now, for number two is changing schools. It is really difficult na paiba-iba ka ng school because by doing that, paiba-iba ka ng environment na napupuntahan, tapos lagi kang nag-adjust. So, nasa-stress yung bata. Kasi kada bagong school, maghahanap ka na naman ng panibagong friends. Now, yung mga ugali ng mga tao doon, the students sa previous school mo, iba na naman dito. So talagang masistress ka. That is one of the reason, rather, why we have so-called introverts. Yes, I am one of them. Kasi ipa-iba rin ako ng school na pinapasukan. So that's what happens. And also, housing problems or homelessness. Kawalan ng tirahan. Sinong hindi may stress naman, di ba? Wala kang matirahan. No? And for number three is having negative thoughts about themselves. Lahat naman tayo dumaan dito sa pagkakaroon ng mga negative thoughts, especially to those unfortunate children na hindi pinalad na yumaman, di ba, ang parents. No, napapressure sila, nasustress sila, nagkakaroon sila ng negative thoughts about themselves kasi, for instance, may mga classmate mo, mga fortunate sila, they have everything, nakukuha nila kung ano yung gusto nila, whereas ikaw, it's limited. Kasi, you're an unfortunate child. So, parang niisip mo na, na-stress ka, ay buti pa sila, bakit ako ganito? Bakit ganito yung buhay ko? Ganyan. Those negative thoughts, kine-question mo ang existence mo. So, isa yan sa mga pinagdadaanan ng mga bata. One of the stresses in their childhood, rather. Okay, so we have number four, going through body changes in both boys and girls. Of course, kasi pag nagdadalaga ka, nagbibinata, there are changes na parang hindi ka sanay. Na, like, sa mga lalaki, nagkakaroon sila ng bigote, and there are kids na ayaw nila ng buhok dito sa kanilang, hair sa kanilang mukha kasi para silang matanda. Tingnan. So, they don't like that. And sa mga babae naman, especially, I remember nung ako, I was very shy na lumabas kasi nagkaroon tayo ng dibdib. No? So, parang nakakahiya. Bakit kaya ganito? And, of course, nagkakaroon tayo ng wet dreams when we were young. Diba? Nung bata pa tayo. And so many things. And that's for number four. Now for number five is seeing parents go through a divorce or separation. Hindi ito may iwasan kapag ganyan ang sitwasyon ng parents, naghiwalay, or nag-separate, nagkaroon ng kanya-kanyang pamilya. Stress talaga yan sa bata. Kasi imagine, the stress that a child would carry na nakatira ka sa isang bahay na hindi mo tatay yung kasama ng nanay mo. Or vice versa. 'Di ba? And lalo na kung yung napangasawa ng father mo is maldita, so stress ka talaga. Ma-pressure ka. Kung ano nang iniisip mo, gusto mo maglaya sa ganito. Nakaka-distract. Nati-distract ka sa pag-aaral mo. So, kung pwede ay iwasan natin to sa mga parents, no? Na huwag maghiwalay. Stay strong lang. Ganun. Okay, so number 6 is money problems in the family. Well, kahit sa ang pamilya naman, problema yan. Mapamayaman man o pobre. And of course, apektado ang bata, lalo na pag nakikita ng bata sa parents niya na problema na naman, wala tayong pera, mag-aaral sa ganito, bayad sa tuition. So pag naririnig yan ng mga bata, na-stress din sila. What if tumigil na lang kaya ako mag-aral kasi parang, binibigyan ko ng problema yung parents ko dahil sa akin kasi kailangan ko mag-aral, ganyan. So that's one thing that stresses them. And number 7 is living in an unsafe home or neighborhood. This is very important. Kung saan ka nakatira, anong klaseng environment ang meron ka. Kasi malaki ang impact niya sa mga bata. Kung maingay, magulo ang bahay, or the people inside the house ay they have bad mouths, no? They are cursing and everything, all the things na hindi kaaya-aya, stress talaga ang bata, no? So magkakaroon din yan ng negative impact sa kanilang pag-iisip at pananaw sa buhay. Okay, so that's for their stresses in their childhood. And we have triggers. These are the effects of stress to a child's mental health and academic success. Number 1, we have decreased interest in socializing. And 2, inability to concentrate on schoolwork. Decreased interest in socializing. Ako, as an introvert noong bata pa ako, kapag meron akong problema, wala talaga akong ganang makipag-usap sa mga friends ko. I just want to sit there and mag-isip, mag-overthink. No, kain lang ako mag-isa, ganyan. So, that's one of the effects of stress, pag-stress ang bata. No, hindi lang mga adult ang nakakaranas ng stress. Even the children, nakakaroon din sila ng stress. And isa yan sa mga kailangan alam ng mga parents. Kasi there are parents na ang akala lang nila, mga adults lang ang nagkakaroon ng stress. Ay, anong ma-stress man ka, bata pa kaayo ka, hindi mo pa anong tungkol sa buhay. Mga ganon. Diba? So that's for number 1. Number 2 is inability to concentrate on schoolwork. Any child na nasa stress, hindi ka talaga makafocus sa work mo or sa schoolwork mo. Because you are thinking of something else not related sa studies mo. Nadi-distract yung concentration ng bata. So that's for number 2. Number 3 is excessive sleep. It's either dalawang klase kasi yan eh. It's either pag stress ang bata or the adult. It could be sobra ang tulog or hindi natutulog, late na matulog. Okay? So that's for number 3. Now for number 4 is poor impulse control. Ito yung mga batang aggressive. Walang control sa kanilang emotions. Pag galit. They can be violent. No, kasi from the word itself, poor impulse control. Walang control sa sarili. Yan yung mga bata na magnakaw or ito yung magsaksak ng pensil. No? So kabilang yan kay poor impulse control. And number 5 is reduced motivation. Bababa talaga ang motivation ng isang bata pag stress. You're not motivated because you're stressed. Sino ba namang ma-motivate ng stress ka? Ang dami-dami mong iniisip at a young age. Diba? And number 6 is moodiness. Ito yung mga batang nag-throw ng tantrums. Ayan, nagiging moody sila. Hindi maintindihan yung ugali, ang attitude. Kahit anong ibigay mo na laruan or kahit anong kausap mo, wala. Talagang tantrums. Okay? Okay, so next is apply behavior analysis. So we have antecedent, behavior, and consequences. Now, for the antecedent, this is something that comes before a behavior and may trigger that behavior. From the word itself, antecedent, yung unang pangyayari or yung unang nangyari na naging rason ng behavior na yan. Okay? So, dyan papasok si behavior, anything an individual does. And the consequences is something that follows the behavior. Ano yung action na ginawa mo sa behavior ng bata na yon as a teacher. Okay, so we have here an example of ABC chart. We have the ABCs of behavior chart. This is how you are going to do it. Ganyan. I-label mo ng ganyan. Columns. First is you have to write the name of the child or yung student mo. So for example, is Dion. And you can write here sa behavior to observe yung class advisor kung ikaw ay teacher sa ibang section. Tapos nang gulo yung bata sa room mo. Now, you have to write the setting and event. That includes location, date, and time. So, we have here home, sa loob ng bahay. This is for example, ha. And this, nangyari ito noong March 30 at 9:30 a.m. umaga. Now, antecedents. What happened right before behavior? So, mom received a phone call. So, naka-receive ang mother ng phone call. Behavior, specific and measurable. Juan pulled on mom's legs, repeatedly asked to be picked up, mga ganyan. Yan yung behavior, yung ginawa niya. Una niyang ginawa, tumawag yung bata sa nanay, and then ayan, ang behavior. Pulled on mom's legs, repeatedly asked to be picked up. Consequences, anong ginawa ni mother? What happened right after behavior? Mom interrupted her phone call to redirect the child. Now, function of the behavior, what is the payoff for the child? Attention. Okay, so that's how you, what do you call this? By doing this ABC chart, rather, this will help you, for instance, na may ginawang sobrang chaos, no? Chaotic masyado yung anak nung parents na student mo, pwede mong ipakita sa parents niya na, ma'am, this is what happened. O ganyan, you have the setting, the event, the antecedent, pakita mo yan sa parents. Okay, that is the significance of writing the behaviors of your students inside your class. Okay, tatanungin niya ng parents. Kasi pag wala kang may pakita na proof sa mga parents, sabihin nila, ikaw ang nagsisinungaling. Gusto mo lang tanggalin yung anak nila sa paaralan. Okay? So that's for the ABC chart. We have some common child needs. Number 1, we have quality time. We have to spend time with the children, especially the parents. This is important kasi by spending time with the children, nabuboost mo yung kanilang confidence. Kasi nakikinig ka. You are sharing, you're exchanging stories. Nagkukwentuhan kayo, ganyan. You spend time with them. So, ano ba to? Mas, what do you call this? Mas develop yung kanilang communication skills, social skills, ganyan. Kasi magmumula yan sa loob ng bahay. Then, i-apply nila yan inside the school. That is the importance of quality time. Security, you have to make them feel secure. As a teacher, wag niyong takutin yung mga bata. No, you have to make them feel safe inside your class. Huwag kang mag-terror-terror kay mga kindergarten teacher man tayo. So, hindi natin pwedeng i-apply yung mga attitude natin sa mga students na pang college. No? And kasi if they don't feel secure inside your class, do you think motivate mo silang makinig sa'yo? No. And usually na nangyayari is nag-absent sila sa'yo. Ayaw na lang pumasok. And, the attitude that you show to your students, sinasabi nila yan, kinikwento nila yan sa parents nila. So, may impact din yan sa'yo as a teacher. So, for number 3 is show affection. How are you going to show affection sa mga students mo? You have to, like parang baby, you treat them like your own child. No? If a positive reinforcement, no, yun na yun siya. Like for instance, kung nag-participate ang student mo or you compliment them, you show affection na, wow, good job, ganyan. O you motivate them, you show affection. Kasi pag nakikita ng student mo na your reaction, especially your reaction, na natuwa ka sa ginawa nila, the next time around, mas gagalingan nila. Baka kada question mo, sila na ang sumagot. Okay? So that's the importance of showing affection sa mga students mo. And for education, of course, you teach them, sa mga parents, the basics na kailangan malaman ng mga bata. For example, isang pagsuklay, yung mga basic, pag-toothbrush, paglagay ng kanilang sapatos, pagsuot ng damit, ganyan, those basic. And then, education na sa school. But before sila, the kindergarten, before sila pumasok sa school, sa kinder, of course, sa bahay muna sila matututong scribble, diba? Scribbling stage. So, sa bahay yan. Doon sila mag-scribble. Pero pwede rin sa sa nursery, the preparatory school ba yun? Preparatory class. Oh, yan siya. And number 5 is healthcare. Of course, importante na they are healthy. You make sure that they are healthy. How are you going to make sure na healthy sila sa classroom mo? You throw out those things na matatalas, na masusugatan sila. If may mga blade dyan, kung pwede ilagay sa taas na hindi maabot ng mga bata, ganyan. Or yung mga pamalo ni teacher na dapat kay teacher lang makaabot. Baka ipokpok sa ulo ng classmate nila na lagot na. And you teach them ano yung mga pagkain na kailangan nila. Habang bata pa sila, you tell them na dapat kumakain kayo ng maraming gulay. No? The Go, Glow, and Grow foods. And number 6, good role models. Ang mga bata kasi, kung ano yung nakikita nila kay teacher, ginagaya din nila. At mas yun ang pinaniniwalaan nila kaysa sa kanilang parents. Because, I have a pamangkin where tinuruan ko siya kung paano ang tamang pagbasa ng, what word was that? I think that was, anong word ba yun? It's caterpillar. No, I don't think, let's assume that it was, the word affectionate, no? For instance, hindi ko na kasi maalala kung what word was that, no? Ang bigkas daw kasi ng teacher niya was affectionate. Sabi ko, no, that's not the correct pronunciation of affectionate. It's affectionate. Kasi ako sa mga pamangkin ko, kung ano yung tamang bigkas sa word, yun talaga yung ituturo ko sa kanila. I will not tell them na, for example, is Education. So I'm not gonna tell them na education, education. Though they are still in kindergarten, yes, you teach them that education, education. That's for syllables na alam naman na nila kung ano pagbasa dyan, ba? Matututunan na rin lang naman nila yan. Now, ang tatatak kasi sa isipan nila was how you pronounce it. Katulad ng ginawa ng pamangkin ko, na ang basa ng teacher niya sa affectionate, affectionate. When it should be affectionate. Affectionate. Oh. So, be careful kasi kayo yung mas sinusunod ng mga bata, ang mga teacher. Okay, so number 7 is self-esteem. How are you going to boost their self-esteem? You compliment them. Bigyan nyo ng mga, like what I've said kanina, positive reinforcement. Kasi ang mga bata, mga ano yan sila. Like, they always need attention. Gusto nila, napapansin sila, binibigyan sila ng compliment. Kasi in that way, nabuboost na yung confidence nila, namomotivate sila na to do better. Kasi, nakita nila yung reaction mo na you're happy. No, positive yung reaction mo sa ginawa nila. So, okay. Gusto ko ulit makita na ganyan ang reaction ni teacher. Now, sa susunod na tanong ni teacher, ako ulit ang sasagot. Makikinig ako ng maayos kay teacher para mabigyan niya ako, for example, ng chocolate. Kasi kung sino tayo yung nakasagot, bibigyan niya ng chocolate. So that's for number 7. And 8 is play. Play is important, especially in kindergarten, sa ating mga kindergarten teachers. Kasi they have short attention span, di ba? So, hindi ka pwedeng magturo ka ng ilang oras sa mga students mo in kinder. Kasi, tatama rin silang makinig sa'yo. Ikaw ba naman na, bata ka pa, tapos ilang oras kang nakikinig sa sinasabi ng mama mo or teacher mo, na diba, mag-board ka. Kasi gusto mong maglaro. Na kung gusto mong makinig sa iyong bata, idaan mo sa play. Gawin mong laro na alam mong mag-e-enjoy sila. Maiintindihan nila. Though it is a discussion na rin, pero through play. Okay? So that's some of their common needs. Now, the next is dealing with problem behaviors. Now, there are 4 types of difficult students. Number 1 is disruptive students. Ito yung mga disruptive. From the word itself, disruptive. Nakaka-distract. Nasa-stop niya yung, for example, nagdi-discuss ka, tapos may bata na sobrang ingay. Nasisira niya yung, ano tawag dito? Nadi-distract niya yung mga students. Ibang students, sa sobrang ingay niya. Sobrang pasaway. No, so, there are those students na labas-pasok, parang walang nakikitang teacher. Nadidistract nila yung class, kaya nasa-stop yung discussion. Kasi, mga sabak ka sa ilaha, kay grabe kagulo. No? And defiant students, ito yung mga palaban ng mga students. Lumalaban sa mga teacher. Pag pinagsabihan mo, ay hindi. Or else, pag pinagsabihan mo, lalabas na lang. Parang di ka narinig. Or there are students na aggressive. Sasagutin ka. Okay? So that's for the defiant. From the word itself, defiant students. Mga palaban to ng mga students in a negative way. And number 3 is inattentive students. Ito yung mga hindi nakikinig. From the word itself, inattentive. Hindi nakikinig. Parang walang naririnig na teacher sa front. Kung magbigay ka ng instruction, kailangan mong ulit-ulitin. Kasi ayaw ka lang pakinggan So, mapipiko ng teacher. Kasi, sino hindi mapiko na may estudyante kang hindi nakikinig, diba? And for the 4th one, students displaying apathy. Now, ito yung mga students na there's walang pakialam, walang pakiramdam kahit umiyak na si teacher dyan kasi sobrang gulo nila, wala lang. Apathy, ito yung sa sobrang nila, kawalang pakialam sa paligid na ito na yung magsaksak ng mga pensil or magsabunot ng classmate nila pag nakatalikod, pag hindi sila bati. 'Di ba? Or kanang mag-recruit sila ng mga students na ay natin si ganito. Mamaya paglabas na tulak mo. 'Di ba? Yung mga kids thing pag hindi sila nagkakabatian. So that's the 4 types of difficult students. Now we have 5 strategies for behavior problems. We have keep yourself calm. Kalma. Kaya kung hindi ka kakalma na matulfo ka. And kasi as future teachers, no, pinaka-importante, sabi nga ng ni Ma'am Lotis, my instructor in CPE 109, pag teacher ka, kailangan milyones ang haba ng pasensya mo. Lalo na daw sa amin, ang mga kindergarten. Yes, lalo na sa amin. Kasi nasa amin yung mga bata na sobrang tigas ng ulo. Like literal na immature pa. Oo, kailangan nating habaan ang pasensya natin. Keep calm. And be consistent. Huwag kang, kung ano yung positive na attitude mo sa classroom, yun ka lang. Be consistent. Huwag ka magpakita ng aggressiveness na matakot sa iyo ang mga students mo. Okay, ma-report ka sa principal na baka matanggal ka or matulfo ka. Be consistent. And involve students in creating rules. Because in this way, mas naiintindihan nila kasi yung rules pag kasama mo silang gumagawa ng rules. Like, okay, class, mas madali rin nilang na-recall, naalala kung ano yung classroom rules nyo. Okay, class, pag nagsasalita si teacher, number 1, ano? Lagay. Pagsasalita si teacher, dapat tahimik lang kayo. O, pangalawa, ganyan. So, you involve your students in creating rules. And number 4 is document problematic behaviors. Katulad ng sinabi ko kanina, the ABC chart, that could help. That is the importance of documenting the problematic behaviors of your students. Kasi that will serve as your proof. Just in case na may magreklamong teacher, parents. And the last one is reward positive behavior. Okay, again, you could give lollipops or heart sa mga students mo pag nakakasagot sila. You motivate them. You do things na alam mong matitrigger mo yung instinct nila na kailangan ko makasagot kailangan gusto ko ng chocolate. O, ganyan. Positive reinforcement. And here are common reasons behind the destructive behavior. Number 1, anxiety. Oo. Processing disorders, learning disorders, they could have dyscalculia, do you still remember that sa CPE 103? Dyscalculia, dysgraphia, what else? ADHD, ano yung isa? Dyslexia, di ba? And depression. Past or current trauma, and autism. This is why kailangan aware tayo kung ano yung mga events sa buhay ng mga bata. You have to know their background. Alamin mo kung anong klaseng family meron sila. That is why kailangan nakakausap natin yung kanilang mga parents. Kasi nag-exchange kayo ng information And in that way, nahihelp ka rin ng parents na nahihelp ka din ng parents nila na with their children. So, pag binigyan ka ng information, of course, you know na, okay, ganito pala yung anak niya. Okay, now this is what I will be going to do. Ito ang gagawin kong strategies inside my class. Yan, ganun. Now, that's for my report. I hope you have learned something, no, and thank you for listening.